So last year, my best mate Matt did something incredible. Although in very tiny shorts and an orange vest top,
Double kill.
he did something actually amazing. This challenge in particular was a 100-kilometer run from South London all the way to Brighton. Like, holy f***ing shit. Anyways, back to Matt. We prepared the night before with all the food and drink we thought we would need. Battery packs, LED lights, electrolyte portions, and other small items. I wasn't doing the run with Matt, but I was setting up checkpoints every 10 kilometers for him to refuel and get back on track, like Formula 1 style. I'd even at times shout motivational quotes at him. This kid actually ended up trying to fight him. His name was Tyson. Sometimes there were even obstacles, like our entire path being blocked off. On the whole, the first 40 kilometers were fine, a breeze almost, but that's when it changed. The area got colder, the roads got darker. Seeing him every 10 kilometers past the halfway mark was stressful, even more stiff and worn out than the last checkpoint. When I was driving around to the checkpoints, I was starting to doubt if he would make it. But he did. We started the journey at 6 AM in Richmond, South London, and finished around 12 AM when we reached the University of Brighton. We had come such a long way and now the journey was over. Well, at least for him, I still had to drive us home. The thing is, when we set goals, we really like the sound of them. That's the reason why we make these big announcements to people, to show that we're doing something that they didn't have the balls or nerve to do. Think about the amount of New Year's resolutions you've set without even thinking twice about ever again. There's actually a really shocking statistic in a study that was done, and it was found that around 92% of people never actually complete their goals, which is actually bonkers. If you're anything like me, you probably think that you're not lazy, but there probably are a lot of times, even throughout the day, which you are kind of taking your foot off the gas a little bit. But sometimes I think a goal has to matter for you not to actually end up doing that. So now we've got that out of the way, what would be an effective practice to taking on your goals? So come on, let's bring this back a little bit. Okay, so you want to achieve your goals. Brilliant. None of us set goals with the intention of not achieving them. So how do we follow through on this? However, there's a really effective method to motivating you into doing something when you really don't want to do it. According to a study that was mentioned in the book Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg, if you write down your plans and your tasks in very distinct detail, that will increase their likelihood of them being completed, like by a country mile. In the early 1990s, there was a study that was done in 2 of Scotland's most busy orthopedic hospitals. Orthopedic means people suffering with bone or muscle deformities. So anyway, in this study, there were 2 groups of people. The first group were asked to write their plans for the day in a little booklet, and the second group were told not to do anything at all. Some of these plans that the patients would have would be go for walks, meeting family members, etc, etc. Now, what was really interesting was that the first group were found to walk, get ready, prepare themselves twice as fast as the secondary group. All from writing their tasks down, getting it all organized, they just knew what they were doing ahead of time. They were just one step ahead of the curve. This is where I'm going to chuck an amazing quote at you. And this is, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. And the reason why systems are better than any sort of short-term motivation is because they guarantee a consistent outcome. And I think when it comes down to goals, we imagine the amount of effort accumulated that it must take to reach or achieve a certain thing, when it just comes down to the stuff that you do daily. Like, you don't have to be the world's smartest person to write down your plan for the day on a piece of paper and have a little to-do list going. It just shows that you're a bit more disciplined and you're a bit more ahead of the curve than people that don't. And why wouldn't you do something that just saves you a bit of time, like in practice? Not hoping that luck is going to somehow make things better for you. And these structures can help break down the distance to your goals, so that way you don't get overwhelmed. Because when we have the intention of doing anything, especially if it's big in scale, sometimes the thought of it is what discourages us from taking action. Like, I don't know if you've ever had the intention of doing something and then you've just talked yourself out of it and then just ended up watching TV like a little bitch. Systems like writing things down can help make sure that your goals get prioritized even when the motivation isn't there, even when you don't feel like doing the thing. Now, I don't know what the reason is for why writing your plans down makes it that much easier to do, but I probably would imagine it's because when you look at your goal without planning, it becomes this massive abstract thing. But when you set up these little milestones, you realize that it's not like a massive sprint, it's just a couple short runs that kind of get you to that place you want to be. Now, goals are an amazing thing to have in your life. If you haven't got goals or anything, just make up a couple, make a short list. Because what they do is that they push the goalposts. They make you realize you can do certain things. You can see yourself in a different way. And of course, we don't get anywhere overnight. Obviously, Matt didn't wake up one morning and go, wow, I'm going to run 62 miles tomorrow. He took a lot of time training, getting used to being on his feet for that long, speaking to the right coaches, nutrition. When the road gets lonely, we can always lean onto the things that we know best.
I need a